What happens when an undercover boss steps into the shoes of his employees? What happens when he sees the world through their eyes, feels their struggles, and realizes the weight they carry every single day? This is a story about one such boss, a man who thought he knew everything about his company, until he discovered the truth hidden in plain sight. A truth that would change not just his life, but the life of a struggling senior employee who had almost given up on hope. This is a story of compassion, courage, and the power of second chances. Meet Raymond Tolliver, the CEO of a mid-sized logistics company called Swiftline. Raymond was a man of precision, a man who believed in numbers, deadlines, and results. At 52, he had built Swiftline from the ground up, turning it into a respected name in the industry. But success had come at a cost. Over the years, Raymond had become disconnected from the very people who kept his company running, the employees. To him, they were just names on a payroll, faces in a crowd. But all of that was about to change. One evening, as Raymond sat in his office, scrolling through employee performance reports, a name caught his eye: Martin Greeley. Martin had been with Swiftline for over 15 years, one of the longest-serving employees. But lately his performance had been slipping. Missed deadlines, frequent absences, and a noticeable drop in productivity. Raymond frowned. He didn't like inefficiency. He made a mental note to have a word with Martin's manager. But something about the situation nagged at him. Why would a loyal employee suddenly start underperforming? Was it laziness, or was there more to the story? The next morning, Raymond called his trusted assistant, Darren, into his office. "Darren, I need you to set something up for me," he said, leaning back in his chair. "I want to go undercover. I want to work alongside our employees, see what's really going on. And I want to start with Martin Greeley." Darren raised an eyebrow. "Undercover, sir? Are you sure that's a good idea?" Raymond nodded. "I need to see things for myself. No one can know who I am, not even the managers." And so the plan was set in motion. Raymond traded his tailored suits for a simple uniform, his luxury car for a beat-up sedan, and his CEO title for the name Ray, a new hire in the logistics department. The following Monday, he walked into the Swiftline warehouse, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had no idea what to expect. The warehouse was a hive of activity. Forklifts zipped back and forth. Workers loaded and unloaded trucks, and the air was filled with the hum of machinery. Raymond was assigned to the packing team, where he would be working closely with Martin Greeley. He spotted Martin almost immediately, a tall, lean man in his late 50s, with graying hair and a tired expression. Martin moved slowly, as if every step required effort. But there was something in his eyes, a quiet determination that caught Raymond's attention. "Hey, you must be the new guy," Martin said, extending a hand. "I'm Martin. Welcome to the team." Raymond shook his hand, noticing the calluses and the faint tremble in Martin's grip. "Thanks. I'm Ray. Looking forward to working with you." The first few days were tough. Raymond wasn't used to physical labor, and his body ached from the long hours. But he pushed through, determined to understand what Martin and the others went through every day. As the days turned into weeks, Raymond began to notice things he had never paid attention to before. The long hours, the lack of breaks, the constant pressure to meet unrealistic targets. And then there was Martin. Martin was a hard worker, but it was clear that something was weighing him down. He often looked exhausted, his hands shaking as he packed boxes. One afternoon, during a rare break, Raymond decided to strike up a conversation. "So, Martin, how long have you been working here?" Raymond asked, trying to sound casual. Martin sighed, wiping sweat from his brow. 15 years, give or take. Started when I was in my 40s. Never thought I'd still be here, to be honest." Raymond frowned. "What do you mean?" Martin hesitated, then shook his head. "It's nothing. Just life, you know? It doesn't always go the way you plan." Raymond wanted to press further, but he could see the pain in Martin's eyes. He decided to let it go, for now, but the conversation stayed with him, gnawing at his conscience. There was more to Martin's story, and Raymond was determined to find out what it was. A few days later, Raymond's curiosity got the better of him. He followed Martin after work, keeping a safe distance. What he saw broke his heart. Martin didn't head home. Instead, he walked to a small, run-down apartment complex on the outskirts of town. Raymond watched as Martin climbed the stairs, his movements slow and labored. He waited a few minutes, then approached the building. He didn't know what he was looking for, but he had to know the truth. As he reached Martin's floor, he heard voices, a child's laughter, followed by Martin's tired but gentle voice. Raymond peeked through the slightly open door and saw Martin sitting on a couch, a young boy curled up beside him. The boy looked pale and frail, his eyes sunken but bright with joy. Martin was reading him a story, his voice soft and soothing. Raymond's heart sank. He stepped back, his mind racing. He had assumed so much about Martin, but he had never stopped to consider what might be going on in his life outside of work. The next day, Raymond approached Martin during their lunch break. "Martin, can I ask you something?" Raymond said, his voice gentle. Martin looked up, surprised. "Sure, Ray. What's on your mind?" Raymond took a deep breath. "I know this might sound strange, but are you okay? I mean, really okay?" Martin's eyes filled with tears, and for a moment, he looked like he might break down. But he took a deep breath and nodded. "I'm managing. It's just my grandson, Timmy. He's been sick for a while now. Leukemia. The treatments are expensive, and I've been working extra shifts to pay for them. But it's never enough. I'm so tired, Ray. I don't know how much longer I can keep going." Raymond felt a lump in his throat. He had been so focused on the numbers, on the bottom line, that he had forgotten the human side of his business. These weren't just employees. They were people with lives, struggles, and dreams. And Martin had been carrying this burden all alone. The next day, Raymond revealed his true identity to Martin. At first, Martin was shocked, then angry. "You've been spying on me," he said, his voice trembling with hurt. Raymond shook his head. "No, Martin, I wasn't spying. I was trying to understand. And now that I do, I want to help. You've been with this company for 15 years. You've given so much, and yet I had no idea what you were going through. That's on me. But I'm here now, and I'm not going to let you face this alone." Raymond arranged for Timmy to receive the best medical care, covering all the expenses. He also promoted Martin to a less physically demanding role, with better pay and flexible hours. But more than that, he made a promise to always put his employees first, to see them not as numbers, but as people. The story of Raymond and Martin spread throughout the company, inspiring others to open up about their own struggles. Swiftline became more than just a workplace. It became a family. And Raymond, he became a better leader, a better person. The moral of the story? Success isn't just about profits and growth. It's about compassion, understanding, and the willingness to see the world through someone else's eyes. Because sometimes the greatest strength lies in the simplest act of kindness.